Hi everybody, just a quick video on how we calculate the area of a sector. Now first of all, a thing you need to know is a sector is just an area or a slice, just a fraction of a full circle. So that key word there, the fraction, similar to what we did with calculating the length of an arc, where we used the angle that we knew out of the full circle. So that fraction of the full circle, we used it to calculate the length of an arc using the circumference. Since we're talking about area, we're going to be using the area of the circle formula in this case. So if we want to calculate the area of a sector, we are going to be using that pi times the radius squared, but we're only wanting a fraction, and that fraction is just this theta over 360 degrees. So this is the key formula that we're going to use. Now moving on to an example of how we do it, I've taken the liberty of drawing this circle here and I've split it up into two different sectors. So our angled lines here represents what we call a minor sector because it is the smaller one, and the vertical lines represent the major sector. So first of all, I'm going to look at calculating the minor sector because we know this angle. So first thing you should always do is put down your formula. So the sector is our angle theta divided by 360 degrees times by pi times by our radius squared. And we have to substitute our values in for this. Now, in the previous video we used the diameter where we had to double the 4.7. Now we don't, we just use the 4.7 as it is. So our sector is our angle, and our angle in the centre for the minor arc, or the minor sector here, is 110 out of 360 degrees. We're timesing that by pi, and we know that pi is 3.14, and we know that our radius is 4.7, so we have to take that 4.7 and square it. Putting that into the calculator, remember we've got a fraction button here, 110 out of 360 times 3.14 times by 4.7 squared, and that gives us an answer of 21.19 centimeters squared, and that is to 2 decimal places. Remember, we're talking about area here, so we need to make sure that we include our squared units. It's not just going to be centimeters, millimeters, it has to be a squared one. Now, for calculating the area of the major sector, well, we know that a full circle is 360 degrees. So if this one's 110, to calculate our angle, we would have to first do 360 degrees, subtract 110 degrees, which gives us 250. So that is our angle that we'll be using for calculating this major sector here. So as before, 3 lines. Area of our sector is equal to our angle divided by 360 times by pi times the radius squared. We know what our angle is, so we have 250 for the major arc out of 360 times by 3.14 times by 4.7 squared. Once again, we're having to square the radius, and as easy as pi, all we have to do is type in 250 over 360 times 3.14 times 4.7 squared. We get an answer of 48.17 centimeters squared, and again that's rounded to 2 decimal places. So key things we need to remember here is calculating the area of a sector, we're using our area of a circle, but with this fraction that's represented by the angle we know out of the full 360 degrees. We substitute our values in this case with the minor arc it was 110 degrees. We know pi to be 3.14 and our radius, not our diameter, our radius. And similar for a major sector, our major sector in this case was 250, so we're substituting 250 in to our fraction, and once again using our area of our circle. So I hope this has been helpful. If there's any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.